Hey, good morning, guys. Happy Wednesday. So I did my webinar this morning with the other authors from You Are Meant for More. And, it definitely got me thinking about this whole quick fix. And you know me, I don't tend to sit there and plan out my content for lives in the group. Hey, Sarah, so awesome for you to join me. Hey. So this just seemed to come forward on the back of my thinking about, the stuff that we were sharing, the things that we were doing, the book that we were writing, and my big message and takeaway is there's no quick fix. You want to start a business, you want to follow your purpose, whatever it is, it's not going to happen overnight. You're going to get a million nudges, lots of different moments of clarity that have you continuing on your journey. It's called a journey for a reason because, we don't talk about the destination. There's many success factors, many series of evolution that we all go through. And, one of the things that I remember doing at the very beginning of my journey when I was getting really curious about starting my purposeful business and I knew what I wanted to do, and I didn't want to get help. I didn't want to reach out and actually say, I have no idea what I'm doing. So and you might relate with this, so please let me please let me know if you do. I downloaded every single freebie there was going, and I tried to find time to use them. Some of them had something in them that was a bit useful, but most of them didn't really resonate with me. And I knew what I was looking for. I was looking for somebody that would hold my hand and guide me through what I was doing. But I just didn't think I could afford it or justify it. For me, it was justification that I deserved having somebody coach me and work with me through my journey, and the cost, the investment that took, the investment of my time, of my money, that was my family's money, and the fear that I might actually then have to freaking make it work. There's nothing like making an investment in yourself that then says, I actually need to make this happen now because I've taken the biggest leap of faith and I've actually invested in myself. It's going to happen. So one thing I do notice is that whenever I do a webinar, whenever I do, a conversation or, create a freebie or whatever, people are hoping that's going to be enough, that's actually going to fix them, that's going to be the thing that's going to push them over the edge. And, they're seeking this stuff outside of themselves that is somebody else's solution. Like my mindset pathway is an incredible freebie. It is, hey Jude, morning. My mindset pathway and planning tool, incredible freebie, but it's a framework to get you to fill it in, so that you're creating your own answers from that. And it's not a quick fix. You have to use it every single day and practice and get better and practice and get better. I'm kind of at that point now where I gave a bit of tough love last week. I know some people were like, that wasn't really tough. Well, that's fine. Good. I'm glad. However, there just is not going to be a quick fix. If you want to start a purposeful business, you're going to go through some shit. You're going to go through some doubts, some fears, some challenges, some conflict. And it is not a quick fix. The first coaching program that I did, it was a year. I actually invested a year of my time to just get into it because I'd been in business for 6 months and I knew 6 months, maybe a year. Anyway, I knew how long it was going to take me to get my business up and running. Like, it was insane. And there was absolutely no way that I could make the progress that I wanted to make in any shorter time frame. I've just had, and Jude's one of them, just had the first round of people go through the Conscious Creation Business Accelerator, and that was a 12-week program. What they've achieved in 12 weeks has been phenomenal, because it was like a sprint. They knew they had 12 weeks, they had a certain amount of time, and they had to get to where they wanted to be. But if they could, duplicate that, imagine where they'll be in 6 months, in a year. And when you look at it in the grand scheme of things, getting where you want to be in the period of time that you want to be there, it isn't quick. It's never going to happen quickly. I've been in business now for 2.5 years, on and off, for those of you that have read my book. Well, I've always been in business for 2.5 years, but I've also moved away and come back in. Anyway, my point is, 2.5 years has gone really quickly, and I still have not got where I want to be in my business. Yes, it's great, and from the outside, other people will look at me and want me to mentor them and coach them, because my success is what they're trying to achieve, what they want to get to. And that's great. But it's still not going to happen overnight for them. I can give every single one of you every single success secret I possibly know, and I do. You all know that in this group. I give you all the value, all the free stuff. But, like my conversation the other day, without you actually doing the work on yourself and then implementing changes and, planning techniques and success factors and frameworks and building your foundations, it's not going to make one iota of difference. And if you think that that is a quick fix to be able to get your business foundations up and running, not to mention your mental, physical, emotional equilibrium, so that you can manage everything that it takes to run a business, a household, a family, a relationship, a life, then you're deluded. It's not going to happen quickly. Oh, Lauren, oh my goodness, you're online with me. This is the most exciting thing. Say hi. It really does. Yeah, Jude, it takes time to do the work, always. It really, really does. And I'm not saying this to be difficult. I'm not saying this to be mean. But, one of the things that I pride myself in is being bloody honest. There's a lot of coaches out there that, prey on these, follow my model, my formula, and, you'll get infinite amounts of thousands of dollars in however many timeframes, or launching one program or whatever it is. And all well and good, you might do, but you're going to have to bloody work for it. And, they've been working their asses off for years to get them to that point, because they've made all the mistakes. So you can follow them and you can make less mistakes because you're listening to them. But how much of an impact is it going to be when a mistake does occur? Are you going to be ready to deal with it? Be it a conflict, be it a challenge, be it, your personal life affects your business more than you realize. And you need to get into a space where you are feeling resilient and strong and connected. All of these things are incredibly important attributes that we need to work on maintaining and sustaining and getting confident in them. Because I tell you now, anyone that you want to work with, no matter what service, profession, at work, in a business, as a coach, you want that person to know what they're talking about, and you want to feel as though they're confident, right? It takes time to build that confidence. It takes time. For you to actually be able to stand up. I mean, God, I still remember the first few live videos I did, and they were hideous. I didn't look like myself. I was really rigid. I had no idea what I was doing. I wasn't sure what I was saying. Now it's not so much that I'm confident. I just don't mind being myself and being really real in that situation. So I'm really happy to show up and be online in this forum, and allowing things just to come to me that need to be said in the moment, as opposed to having a script, having points that I need to talk to and talk about, because for me this is much more like a conversation, and that's my style. So when I'm on a live, you literally know who you're talking to, who's talking at you, and what you're getting is me and the real me. So it's no different from when you work with me. But even then, 12 weeks, if we're working together for 12 weeks in the Conscious Creation Business Accelerator, or even in one of my VIP one-to-ones, 12 weeks is still only going to get you so far. There are still so many hours in a day that you need to do other things other than work on yourself. That doesn't mean that you can't utilize so many of the things that we talk about and the things that we work on. Hey, Jess. Hi. Thank you for the love. Thank you so much for the love. I'm needing it this morning. I'm feeling really riled up about this. I don't know why, but it's this inspired action. But I'm really passionate about the fact that, you guys know, and Jess is actually a really prime example, because she's had some massive successes in terms of, having the ideal clients and having the people approach her about working with her that she would want within that 12-week container period that we work together in the accelerator. But if you actually talk to her about behind the scenes, what it took for her to get there and to be ready for all of that, holy shit, she went through some stuff, like every single one of us does. There is, no matter how you look at it, no quick fix. So stop looking out there for everyone else's freebies to fix your problems and help you set up a business. If you want to do it and you want to do it properly, you need to invest everything that you have got in yourself. And when I say that, I mean time, energy, commitment, dedication. You really need to say, this is what I want to do. This is who I need to be in order to do that. Am I that person yet? What is it going to take for me to get there? Because you work on yourself as much as you work on your business, because the level of resilience and expectation that it takes for you to get this business up and running in whatever time frame that you're setting yourself is brutal, And I say that with love, but it is. I mean, if any of you have read the stories in You Are Meant for More, you'll see that none of us had it easy. Some of us had it easier than others, but did we all suffer in one way or another, however suffering means to us? Hell yes. I think that 1 year of coaching that I did was probably the most difficult I have ever experienced. The amount of mind melds that I went through, the devastation that I told myself I was in, the relationship that nearly, imploded between David and I. I lost my sense of self. And if you lose your sense of self at any time, it's game over, people. There is no quick coming back from that. Even burnout, all of these things. And I think this is the best thing about working with people. When you are in a mastermind with like-minded people, when you are in a coaching program, when you have got a coach, when you've got a mentor, when you've got somebody that has your back, all of a sudden it is not as shitty. All of a sudden, I mean, in the accelerator, I've said before, they're like family to me. They honestly are, we've spent I've cried tears for them over the situations they have been through. I have laughed with them, at them, for them over everything that has happened. The amount of emotions we have all gone through together, but one thing is for sure, they have never been alone. And if you feel alone in business, there's never going to be a quick fix to that. How do you get out of that when you feel as though you're not worthy, as though you're not deserving of being anywhere else or of having that level of support? So really think about what it is that you need, who you need to become in order to get there, and what that is going to take for you to reach out and get support, help, a network of people around you that are going to have your back and really support you in this environment. Jess is saying entrepreneurship takes real grit and resilience for sure. It really does. It really, really does, because it affects everything. It's your entire life. It's not just one part of it, because you're no longer driven by anyone else's expectations other than your own. Until you have clients and then they call the shots over some of that time. But essentially, you are always in the driving seat, and that can come with perks and with difficulties. And Jude says, and you have to allow time to rest. You really do. Yeah, you really, really do. There has to be a significant amount of time to reflect and recharge. And if you're in an environment where all of a sudden you've got these habits that you're being able to form, so important. You know, that support network of other people knowing what you're going through. If you're not surrounding yourself with other like-minded networking entrepreneurs, you know, people that get you, it's going to be hard, and it doesn't need to be harder than it already is, you know, because the minute you start on a journey like this to build a business, there are some dark times. There is, you know, this tunnel of, oh shit, that you literally walk through, and you don't know when you're going to come out the other side of it. But if you've got people cheering you on and walking with you, makes it so much easier. You know, so I love it when people give away freebies. I love it when people say, hey, here's this success. I love it when people, you know, like during the webinar that we did today, giving people the answers for things that ordinarily it might take them a while to get, or they might not appreciate, or they might not think of things in that way. Great. Like last week's live, what are you going to do with it? What is the inspired action that you're actually going to take as a result of that? And please know that it is not going to happen overnight. It just isn't. You will have a moment of clarity, and then all of a sudden the next day you'll have an influx of energy and drive and motivation that says, this is what I'm doing and this is why I'm doing it. And then, you know, without enough rest or understanding your work cycles and how you perform at your peak and when you need to relax and rest, it's hard to maintain and understand, you know. So having people on board with you that can actually go through this journey, and this is why, you know, for me 12 weeks is always the minimum, because that gives people the opportunity to work with me during the good times and the difficult times, and not to be left out the other side if they choose not to continue in a program at the end of 12 weeks with the inability to sustain the level that they have obtained. You know, that is really important to me, that when anyone ever leaves a program that I'm working with them on, you know, they're at a level where they can now sustain and maintain the optimal state, and they have all those tools at their disposal to use, and then they can use them, you know, and that might last a while, and then they might come back, but they are using them and they are able to function at that level in such an empowered way, better than they were when they started. That is critical to me. But again, it is not a quick fix. Gotta go, love you. Bye, Jude. Bye. Hey, Catherine. Bye, Jude, and hi, Catherine. So yes, please do not be deterred if it takes you 6 months to get your head round what your business structure looks like and what your business foundations look like. And you know, as you evolve, your business will evolve. As your clients evolve, your business will evolve. You know, as you develop newfound ways of doing things and you improve what you do, your business evolves and develops. It is never going to stay stagnant, you know, unless you sell paper clips. And it's always a case of just selling paper clips. You know, it's an interesting thing to get your head round. But once you realize that your business is always moving and you are always moving, eventually you will stop the need to have everything perfect and sorted exactly at that time. You know, you'll realize that actually right now, this is just as good as it's going to be to get it out there, and it's going to get better as time goes on and as I get better. So Jessica, the best decision I made was to hire the coach you, who I saw my forward success projection in. Yeah, it just really makes all the difference. You don't have to do it alone, and having a coach that you see your own future successes in causes so much magic to happen. Oh, It does. It really does. It really, really does. And hi, Alison. Love your red top. That color looks awesome on you. Thank you. Thank you so much. I wanted to be bright this morning. I felt the need to, I'm in Australia, and everyone else that I was talking to was one person in LA, one in South Africa, and the rest were in the UK. So I was like, I need to be bright and Aussie-like. So I went and sat downstairs by the pool as well. I was like, I'm all in this situation. It was really good fun. Thank you. So that's really where my head was at this morning, and the importance of, sharing that it's never going to be a quick fix. And, writing the book for me was sharing a piece of that journey. And it's difficult to share because I noticed that I still wished in my head it had been easier. Like, I still wish that I could have been that overnight success that everyone talks about, that it really wasn't that challenging. I was just so flipping good at what I did that, I opened the door of the business and people just walked in and said, you have to be my coach because you're epic. That just is amusing, but it just made me realize the belief that I had that if that didn't happen, I obviously wasn't good enough and I obviously failed. And if it didn't happen overnight, then, I wasn't meeting the standard of what people needed out there, or I wasn't a good enough coach, or, I wasn't a good enough marketer, or I wasn't a good enough this, that, and the other, or my services were not good enough, or my prices were wrong. Whatever it was all crap and bullshit. It's just not that quick, and you will work your butt off doing all of the things that you think you need to do. But unless you are working with somebody who has been there and done it and can share with you some of the things that they can see from a strategic point of view, you might miss a critical priority that you need to focus on first. And I think that's one of the things that, we get in the accelerator is all about, it might not be a quick fix, but it might be a quick question. And then all of a sudden that light bulb goes on and that person gets thinking, and they have this then genius idea about how to utilize what they wanted to do in a different way to get the same result or a better one, and that is amazing. That in itself is worth everything, because it's those conversations, it's those inspired actions, it's that moment of clarity that is quick nugget, that people are seeking, but it's from them. It's just, it's their own creation. It's their own idea. It's their own inspired action as a result of a conversation, hearing what somebody else is saying, thinking about things in a different way. And all of a sudden it's that osmosis of absorption in that unit, that group, that has them appreciating and understanding what it's going to take next to do it, but again, it's never a quick fix. Catherine, I'm catching the replay of the second session via email. I registered. Oh, awesome. Yay. Hey, Christina and Libby, thank you so much for joining. This is so exciting. Quick question. The Accelerator Master Circle is the advanced program after? Yes. Oh my goodness. Yes. So for those of you that know, I ran a 7-day business building challenge 4 months ago. I think it was now, maybe longer, 5-6 months ago. It was so much fun. I was having a whale of a time. And as a result of that, I opened up and created, just on the back of it, inspired action at work, I tell you, the Conscious Creation Business Accelerator, which is the 12-week business foundation program. So that really helps people get in a coaching group, have weekly coaching with me, have a one-to-one with me to actually set up their individualized program and what they want and what they need. Then they've got a back end members area, which has self-study material in it up the wazoo. Like, there is everything in that bad boy. I have put everything in there, from mindset stuff to abundance forecasts, to client journeys, to elevator pitches, to gosh, what else have I got in there? I've got stuff around mindfulness, morning rituals, how to create content, why you'd want to, how to set up automations. Like, it's got everything from how to sort your head out to your energy centers to your actual business and how everything kind of like impacts and comes together. It's just, it's brilliant. It is brilliant, and it's really helpful, and everyone gets that for life. So when I update that, which I do, and I keep adding to it as things come about, they get that forever. So even if they do 12 weeks, they always have access to all that information, which is just insane. And then they get expert masterclasses as well from my network and my friends and peers who come in and do their zone of genius. So they actually get like a spotlight on, I think, you know, we've had styling yourself for success, confidence branding, that kind of thing. And then we've had somebody who's come in to talk about automation and systemization, which is incredibly helpful and so good. Again, it's not quick to do it, but if you do it properly at the right stage, it changes your business game. And so I've had people doing those kind of things. And then and then there's a Facebook group that we're all in 24/7, talking, keeping ourselves accountable. It's honestly like my heart and soul went into that program, and it's the best thing. And as a result of that, at the end of the 12 weeks, I'm like, oh, I don't want to stop. We need to do more, but we need to level it up. So we are now doing the Accelerator Master Circle, which is a 6-month program, which is for developing your intuitive, empathic, and gifts. So we're actually going to be doing like gift exchanges and things like that. And this is the first time I've talked about it. So Catherine, you got in there first. So asking me this question is really exciting because I actually get to talk about it. So yeah, so we're doing gift exchanges because it's all about, you know, being able to give and to be able to receive, and actually upping those gifts that we have and talking about those kind of things, because how else do you accelerate in that particular area? And then we're going to have different master classes. So we're going to have different experts. So we've got a publishing expert coming in to talk about writing your story and your book and things like that. And there's an opportunity around that. And then we've got the self-study area in the members area again, which has got the next level of content coming out from, you know, that foundation building of getting that incredibly awesome course and program and business built to a level that is stable, structured, solid, sound, and there's a level of confidence in those offerings and purpose and deliverables and launches into the next thing, which is, you know, going out into the media and getting publicity and talking to people in a different way. So it's very exciting. I'm really excited about that. It's just going to advance everyone on a different level, but still incorporating everything that they need, you know, holistic incorporation of everything. And, you know, having such an awesome group of people in there is going to really help each of us develop and absorb the genius that we each have to offer. Because this is the thing about groups, okay? I've always found myself as an introvert a little bit stuck, and because of the empath side of me, in groups I find it quite tricky. So getting the right group and being with the right people, and, you know, which is why it's important to kind of like have that conversation and get the right people in the right space, makes the world of difference, because we all learn and teach each other. And talking of teaching, at the end of the Accelerator Master Circle, the 6-month program, everybody's zone of genius and key message will have been developed and honed and tested. And they will then be teaching the Accelerator their zone of genius. So it's that full circle seek around, you know, what have I been working on? What have I been developing? How can I now give back and teach those back where I started? And I think that's a really nice closing of the loop. It's a really special place to be. And I think that's the care and love that has gone into me thinking and creating this program, because not a lot of places that I have come across or that I'm learned about have incorporated that level of detail or that level of appreciation for being on such a journey, and giving back, which I think is key. Receiving and giving back, and learning and absorbing is all important. So anyway, so hopefully I could ramble about these two things for absolutely ages, because I genuinely, life-changing. I'm actually going through the reflection meetings, because I'm having one-to-ones with everyone that's finished the 12 weeks to really talk to them about that reflective journey, what's happened for them. Because again, 12 weeks seems to have gone quickly, but they've been working so hard over that period of time. It's incredible to see what they've actually managed to achieve and accomplish. But they came into it with such a good mindset and determination, and they cleared their calendars and they got down to doing what they needed to do, because they were on a time frame. They had a stop clock of, I've got 12 weeks, I need to achieve these things and I'm going to work for them. But that was self-driven. I keep them accountable, and I'm in there advising and supporting and mentoring and coaching and being everything that they need me to be at the time. But they still drive the actions and the deliverables and the outcomes. So if they need a week off, they take a week off, and they manage that accordingly. So yeah, it's 12 weeks goes quickly, but it isn't a quick process, and you can get a lot achieved in that time. It is amazing, especially when you're in the right place with the right people, and the right energy. God, the right energy, bringing that to the table is so important. Anyway, coffee. Okay, so thank you so much for this love hearts. I've never had so many love hearts. I obviously need them today, and I probably do. I'm feeling really feeling really as though it's important to share that it might look like it comes easy to people being in business or being visible, being on a computer screen or being in the public eye, or but there is so much that goes on in the background that you're not aware of. I remember being in my coaching program, and I think at the time I was probably the only mum in there with 2 kids. I just had my second, and I found that really hard, because I felt that no one got me. Like, I felt like I couldn't stay up all night, because if I didn't sleep when there was the slightest opportunity, I just wouldn't get any, and I couldn't function in that way. But everyone else was up all night hustling, doing their thing and what have you, and I just couldn't do that. I couldn't compete with that, which meant there was no time for me to do the things that I knew I wanted to do or needed to do. And so I always felt as though I was on the back foot. I always felt like I was different from everyone else. I couldn't manage in the same way that everyone else did. And that always made me feel left out. It made me feel isolated. It made me feel like no one could understand me. And, I think that was a hard part of the journey that nobody will probably ever think about or have accepted. It wasn't a time management issue that I had going on there. I just had 2 kids and I was a mum. So, my schedule wasn't my own, and you work to the best of your abilities. But what I needed was somebody to say that to me. I needed somebody to say, do you know what, Alison? It's actually okay. You're in a different situation. You're a different person. You've got a different lifestyle. It's not going to be the same for you. You can't be up all night writing articles or journaling or doing your courses or marketing or doing Facebook Lives. And yes, you are going to get sick and you're going to get ill because you're juggling too many things. Sometimes what you need is compassion, understanding, and empathy. Which is why I'm all about confidence and ease and none of this hustle crap, because it catches up with you in the end, and it's not necessarily you might want things to be that quick fix and that overnight success, but the amount of work that goes into that to get you there is phenomenal. Nobody wakes up one morning and goes, here's my program, puts it out to the world, has 10 people sign up, and then goes and does that. It takes time to create, it takes time to launch, it takes time to research, it takes time to write, it takes time to find the right platform, it takes time to think about, you know, the value that you're giving and the cost implications and the resources that you need to bring all of that together. And that's just in your working hours. You know, never mind having a life on the side where you have to manage and juggle everyday living, like supermarket shopping, laundry, cleaning, for me, walking the dog. You know, the one thing that I have got that I don't do at the moment that is on my list to incorporate next year, because I am planning on having some more time, is some exercise other than dog walking. You know, it's actually going down to the gym and using it. So I can just go on the cross trainer for half an hour. And I'm really looking forward to that. But I've never actually prioritized that as an importance for me, because I can compromise somewhere in order to keep doing the things that I know I need to keep doing in order to keep things going. Because there's a lot of it. There's a huge amount of it. And before you get to that point where you can automate and outsource, you know, you have to know your business inside out. You know, the levels of acceptance, the standards, the tolerances, everything about it, so that you can actually give it over to somebody else and let them do some of that. You know, and if you are a creative entrepreneur that's a control freak and a perfectionist, shit, you're going to struggle, you know, with your own self around your expectations and your mindset and letting go. And also with, you know, the concept of not being all over everything. So all of a sudden, again, you're changing, you're evolving, and you're having to make a difference here in doing something else. So nothing ever comes quickly. I'm not saying it doesn't come easily. It just doesn't come as quickly as a lot of people are led to believe. So when you think it's taken you too long to get somewhere, it hasn't. No one has done your journey before. So there are no expectations other than the ones that you put on yourself. And you have to think very carefully, do you honestly believe that it could go any better? And if you do, it's a lesson learned for next time. But you wouldn't have learned that lesson without that experience. So everything is a blessing, okay? Everything. Cool. Right. So that is probably all I have to say about no quick fixes. I could probably go on and on and on and on, but I will leave it there for now. And send it out into this world with so much love and intention to reach the people that really need to hear this. And I know that a few of you have been online with me during this live, so I thoroughly appreciate that, and listening in and hearing all about this. And hopefully it resonates, and hopefully it gives you a shitload more confidence than you had to begin with, to know that actually just because it isn't happening quickly doesn't mean that it isn't happening correctly. Okay? So just, you know, bear that in mind and think about that, and stay true to that, that path and your purpose, and get excited about what it is going to be like and what it is going to feel like when you are exactly where you think you want to be. Okay, and sit in that moment for a while each day, just imagining what life is like in that place, because even bringing that closer to you through feelings, visualizations, affirmations, and thoughts is going to make the world of difference every single day, getting you closer and closer to that realization of what you're working to. Okay. All right. Thank you so much for all the love and all of your time this morning. I've loved it. I've loved it, loved it, loved it. And now that we're over the hump of the You Are Meant for More launch, you know, I will be in here much more, telling you more things, getting you on board. And, you know, if any of you are interested and you actually want to have a conversation with me about the accelerator, or even the master circle, then please get in touch with me. Send me a private message and we'll have a conversation, because I am opening up the master circle for one time only to a proper launch. So I'm interested in getting people into the master circle that are the right fit. But after this first round, the people that go into the master circle will have to have done the accelerator. So it's a secondary program to having done the accelerator, and it's invitation only. So I'll only be talking to people who have got to a certain level in their business and who I know are ready for the next stage to get into the master circle. But for the first time, it is open to any applications and anyone that is interested in coming on board with that. So if that is something that intrigues you and you would like to know more, then talk to me about that and send me a message. And if you want to talk to me about getting into the accelerator, then now is a great time. I've just signed up another couple of epic people that are coming into that. And that group is just blossoming with amazingness. So if you want to get into that accelerator, then again, drop me a message. Great. Okay. So I wish you the most amazing Wednesday. May it not go quickly for you, but may it go easily and with so much fun. All right. See you later. Bye.